Was that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Welcome to the Steve and Andy Show with your hosts, Steve Leibel and Andrea Lutz.
Good evening.
Slow fade out.
Yes. We've yet to have a smooth introduction.
It's going to happen one day. Should we let everybody know who our guest is?
Yes. Speaking of introductions, Steve had a busy week and he didn't have time to make a proper introduction for Britt Nygaard. Maybe you should do it live right now.
Or I could just introduce myself.
You tell everybody who she is.
You. Well, this is Britt Nygaard, recently married, works at my office.
Your office.
Isn't that what people say? She works at my office. Yeah. And she's a fitness coach and nutrition coach, correct?
Correct.
Aced it. Renewufitness with Britt Nygaard.
That is me.
So how'd you get roped into this job?
Seeing you at school.
Well, we talk about health and fitness a lot there, actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Pretty
mention
healthy bunch.
It is, or we try to be, right. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I was telling Britt that you and I have been wanting to each lose 10 pounds.
Yeah. 10 to 15.
Oh, 15 now.
15.
Yeah.
Has it been creeping up on you? So tonight, when we were getting ready for the show, I wrapped my fingers around Steve's neck, checking the girth, the neck girth. Have you ever done this? Because this is what happens when you gain weight. You gain it in your neck and your face. So I was saying we should measure Steve's neck and then measure it again in about a month and see how much girth he's lost.
Neck girth.
Yes. Make sure we clarify that.
Do you ever recommend that to your...
I usually
gals?
don't get my clients to
measure
their neck girth.
Don't you get them to do a lot of different measurements? Like when I used to work out, I would measure everything you could measure around, and then you see how much.
Yeah,
I would think a neck would do that.
I give my clients the option because it can be a little overwhelming. Like, okay, every 2 weeks you have to measure every inch of your body.
Yeah.
So I usually say like chest, waist, hips. Mm-hmm. Those are like the three main ones.
Yeah.
Not usually the neck girth, but maybe I could start adding that into my program.
What I would notice it was weird is I would lose more on one side than the other.
Yeah.
That's common.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're a lefty.
Yes.
Do you ever notice that your left bicep is bigger?
Jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah. I'm like Roy Jones Jr. The big left bicep throwing left hooks. Okay, I got a question. So you're everybody's measuring the things. Mm-hmm. Do you set goals with them at the start?
Yeah.
Like, why do you want to? Is it you want to lose weight because you want to fit in your jeans better? Do you want to feel better? Like, do you make that clear, that goal of what they want to?
Yeah,
I make trying to achieve.
Each of my clients define their why. So, like, why did you even sign up for this challenge? Because I feel like that's such a huge thing. And like to say that they want to lose 10 pounds, like that's not going to stop you from throwing in the towel at week 5 when you feel like quitting. But if it's like so that I have energy to go play with my kids, or like so that I can feel more confident in my clothes, like those sorts of things have a deeper meaning than just like I want to lose 10 pounds.
But do you feel like people are honest with themselves though when you ask them that question? Like, do they have a hard time answering it actually? Like, honestly, do you get some answers back and you're like, no, that's not true?
That's not good enough?
Yeah.
Tell me something
like
better.
Get deeper.
Yeah. I'll sometimes ask them to get deeper because I'll get the like, I want to lose 10 pounds. And I'm like, but why? And like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but like they call it like 7 levels deep thinking, and like asking yourself why 7 different times to get to like the root meaning of why you want to do something. So like I really make them think about it, and I like get them to like write it out on a sticky note, put it somewhere that you're going to look at every day. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you think that some reasons are not valid reasons?
Like, give me an example.
Like if I like, because I was telling you that I was gonna try and, you know, be a good girl and
Yes.
take care of things real good for the next month because I got a dress to fit into.
Right.
So do you think just wanting to look good in a dress is a valid reason? Or do you want to get deeper to why do I want to look good in that dress? Why is it important to me to look good in that dress?
Yeah. I think
Like, can you go too far?
I don't think so, because it's good to like critically think.
Yeah.
But my question would be like, okay, are we thinking like long term or short term? Is like what you're doing to fit into that dress going to be something that's sustainable, or are
Right.
you like starving yourself and going to the gym for 3 hours a day? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think having goals and timelines is super important. But yeah, I'm all about like sustainability. So like when you say you want to lose 10 to 15 pounds, my first question would be like, okay, so what are you going to do to try and do that? Like, what habits are you going to instill in your life?
Or what habits are you going to change?
Yeah,
Because that's the hardest thing to do.
right.
Like,
Or
what
like
habits,
routine.
What
With
habits
me-
do you think
With
you
me,
need
it's
to
all
change?
diet. It's
Yeah.
That's
90%
that's probably
diet.
most people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I find myself, and I have in the past couple months, just doing the convenient eating.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like what's convenient? What's quick?
Right.
Or
it's-
comforting.
Not comfort. No, I don't really comfort eat
Really?
No.
because I don't really enjoy my food.
But don't you find convenience eating sort of a form of comfort?
Yeah, like satisfies that hunger like right away. Instead of like, okay, you get home and you have 45 minutes to make this meal and you sit down and eat the meal. No, I want to get home and I want to eat in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So how do I do that? Well, I go get
I want to
Subway.
microwave an enchilada.
Right.
Yeah.
Or, okay, I want to go down. It's 9 o'clock at night and I'm feeling hungry. I go down to 7-Eleven. I get some chips and a drink. And
How often do you like cook a meal for yourself?
I
as
did
a
it
single
yesterday.
dude?
I did it. I cooked a good meal yesterday, and that was like the first time in probably 4 weeks.
What did you make?
I made like chicken breasts.
Yeah.
I got Pampered Chef. Just the kids
Oh,
were
yeah.
selling Pampered Chef, so
Yeah.
I got some spices and stuff like that. So I cooked 2 chicken breasts and I Brussels sprouts. I fried some Brussels sprouts, and then I had Kraft dinner.
See, but
But it was better than
see,
normally.
but that's okay.
Yeah,
That's good with chicken breasts.
yeah.
And
Katie's a
It's
good
killer.
classic
That's what I
side.
always talk about is like the 80-20 method. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. But
No,
like
tell me.
eating healthy like 80% of the time, like nutritious choices, but 20% of the time having whatever the heck you want, because it like gives you that balance. Then you're not restricting yourself, but you're still letting yourself have the foods that you like, so that you don't go ham the next time that you have that food.
Do you ever find though, this is where I feel like if I give myself too much of a leash, I just run away with it. Like it's a slippery slope. Like if I'm not following a definite program, I end up going
Yeah.
like let myself slowly, oh, this will be a little bit more of this is okay, or I ate this much yesterday, so. And same with working out.
It's easier to follow a plan,
Mm-hmm.
right? But those, and I think it's always talked about, they're not sustainable.
No.
Like you can do it for a month and it's easy,
Right.
but then can you do it for 6 months
Yeah.
or a year?
Do you
or 5
remember when
years?
Chloe and I were doing that program?
Yes.
And we were and we never did finish it.
Right.
But we went balls to the walls for like, I don't know, a couple months, 2 months. We did
Yeah.
2 out of the 3 months where we were hardcore and we saw good results. But I was like crazy. Like I remember having an argument in the kitchen one day and Kayla was standing there watching this happen. I was arguing with my husband that I needed to have my steak at a certain time that day, or, you know, I wasn't going to be like, this has got to happen. And they were both just looking at me like, what in the hell?
Yeah.
But I mean, you probably know this because you said you started out doing probably a pretty restrictive plan like that.
Yeah.
That it can some people can get addicted to it.
Yeah. So when I started my fitness journey, I was training for a bikini competition. So it was like real intense, like 3 hours a day in the gym. All I ate for like 6 months was like chicken breasts, asparagus, oatmeal. Like honestly, it was awful. And then like the last 3 months, it was like white fish, spinach, oatmeal. Like it was so bland and so awful, but like it was so hard getting out of that mindset that like, okay, that's what I have to eat in order to look that way. And it took me forever. So like coming from that, I feel like that's why I have the perspective that I do about like sustainability, because I'm like, it's so hard to get out of the other mindset that's like, this is what I have to do to look that way. Whereas I would way rather someone do something sustainable and like be able to do it for the rest of their life than like jump in and out of different diets. And like,
Do you think there's a bit of a danger of that with people who do the bodybuilding or the fitness competitions? That must happen more often than not, that they develop disorders, I would imagine.
oh yeah, 100%.
Because wouldn't it skew your sort of perception of reality?
Yeah. And like your hormones are completely out of whack. Like it's not healthy at all.
So what is it that people are so attracted to about it, do you think? Because I find the people that do it love it, and it's a lifestyle.
I think the goal of it, like you have an end, like that's the reason I did it. I was like, I would never have done that in my whole life, but I was like something big and like, I don't know.
Was it the
scary.
achievement or the look that you wanted to achieve, or?
I would say like kind of like a bucket list item, and then like the look thing. Like, oh, if I can look like her, then I'll do this. I know what I have to do. That's the thing. You have such a rigid plan. You're like, I know exactly what I have to do to look like that.
Yeah, and if you follow those directions, it's science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and you probably, when you're starting, you're at a point in your life where you're pretty low, right? And that journey of getting there, you feel better and better all the way along the journey. And it's probably like an endorphin kick every time you're in the gym, or you're like, I have this goal of looking really good and I could see progress. That would be addicting.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, that's why it's hard to get out of it, because they're getting all this attention, right?
Yeah.
They're like, holy, she's training for a bikini competition. She looks awesome. Like, and then you get all this like, holy crap. Like I remember I didn't say anything. And then I posted my picture like the night of my competition, and people were like, holy crap. Like we had no idea.
Oh, you weren't posting anything?
No, like people knew I worked out.
Yeah.
But they had no idea that I had signed up for this competition, and then I had posted this picture. But then it was like, okay, that's not something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So it was like almost kind of hard to like come out of that. At the same time, I felt like not the reason that I became a trainer, but like one of the reasons was to keep myself accountable, because I've always been active. I've always like valued a healthy lifestyle, but I knew that if I did it as like a side hustle or as a career, that it would like obviously hold me accountable. So I'm not just going to be some, I don't know, chick walking around telling people what to do and eating KFC every night.
Right.
You know, yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Being a trainer, you've got to be accountable to yourself, and you've got to commit to, being disciplined. Because if you're not, then nobody's gonna.
Have you ever gone on a fitness kick where you've been disciplined and followed a
regime?
Regimen?
Yeah, I've tried like diets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like you said, they work. Like you can follow something for 30 or 60 days. But I think with me, it's looking at food, not in a way of convenience, but how can I, and this is what I need help with, how can I make preparing food fun? Right? Like if I can get to there, then I know, okay, I get to prepare a meal. It takes 45 minutes and I'm having fun doing it.
See, and my big thing is like quick, effective, like in my workouts, in my meal planning, everything. Because majority of my clientele is like busy moms. They don't have time to cook 45-minute meals every night. So like,
or the energy or want to. Lots of people do. They love to cook, but I mean, that's why I cook convenience stuff, because that's what my kids will eat, and it's quick. And then,
like, I would say in the last 2 years, I haven't done a workout over 40 minutes, because I'm like, if you put in the effort for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, you're still getting an awesome workout. Yeah. Even if you go for a 20-minute walk, it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Like, and that's my mentality. And where was I going with this? Oh, I was going to say, okay, so you cooked like the chicken breast, Brussels sprouts, KD the other night.
Yeah, and it took half an hour.
Okay, so another option that I would like say to my clients or whatever would be like, okay, you could go to the grocery store, you could pick up a rotisserie chicken, pretty decent. You could pick up like a bagged salad, cut up or shred the chicken, put it in the salad, and there you go. There's supper.
That's what I have for lunch every day.
Like really,
It's easy.
super easy.
Yeah.
And it's relatively pretty healthy. Like,
Right.
and those are the sorts of ideas that I give to my clients because I know that they don't have endless hours. But I also tell them that meal planning and meal prepping is like the key to your success.
That's where it's one of those things that you know is a good idea and you know it's good for you, but to get yourself to do it, it's just like,
But it takes half an hour on a Sunday.
but maybe you would like that because you're saying that
mindset.
you would want to have fun doing it. So you could take some time on a Sunday,
Yeah.
Bachelor
sit
Sunday.
down.
Well, and that's what, you'd have to like plan it as like a fun event because
Yeah.
to me, I just, like I said, I want to be convenient. I don't
Right.
want to cook. I want to go pick something up from the co-op, bring it home and eat it right away.
Yeah.
So I got to kick that habit. It's not the kicking the bad food because I enjoy and love good food.
Right.
It's not that I don't like vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't want to steam them and
Yeah.
prepare and cook rice and,
Uncle Ben's
juggle
2-minute
all
rice.
those things. Yeah.
No, but yeah, like this is what I tell my clients. Sit down on Sunday. Takes half an hour max. Like literally write out like Sunday to Saturday. Usually I only plan honestly for like Monday to Friday because those are your busy days of the week.
Right.
Saturday, Sunday you can figure out. Honestly, I usually have relatively the same thing for breakfast and lunch. Whether lunch is leftovers or like a salad or a wrap or something that I make at home. And I keep it pretty simple. Suppers is the meal that I like to like change up. So those are the meals that I like really plan out so that Sunday or Monday when I go grocery shopping, I know exactly what I need. I'm not making 15 trips to the grocery store, saving money because I'm not just aimlessly going down the aisles adding things to my cart. And so that's what I would suggest to you.
Okay.
Meal plan.
The other thing about me in cooking is I'm a single guy and my
Right.
cupboards are bare.
Your fridge is something to behold.
So
It's a barren.
for me to follow a
Universe.
meal plan, like
But go get, like she said,
to
go
online.
and get
Right,
groceries
and that's what I would have to
prep
do.
for the week.
And prep for the week and do it bits at a time because I would have to, it would literally cost me like $800 to go and like start filling my cupboards with spices and flour and sugar, like all those things.
Yeah, but you don't need all that stuff to cook
No.
a regular meal. You
Right.
don't need all that stuff.
Like whenever I go in, because my mom always gives me cookbooks.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna cook a meal. So I go into the cookbook and okay, and I ask for this, 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 and this, and all right. So I go to the grocery store. And I get all the stuff I need, and I go up to the thing. It's like $130, please, and it was literally enough to cook like one meal.
Yeah, sometimes, but you got to plan ahead. That's what she's saying.
Yeah.
Well, we sort of talked about doing a cooking show. Maybe that's because I want to shoot a pilot cooking show. That should be the first one we do.
Steve's weekly meals.
Cooking meals for
Steve was telling me about this guy
Ballers on a budget.
showing me this guy he watches on YouTube, this cooking show. What's the guy?
Maddie Matheson.
Maddie Math.
Have you seen
Never
him?
heard of him.
I've never watched anything, but he watches everything, and he always knows all these YouTubers.
Oh, he's amazing. He's this big guy. He's got tattoos, and he looks like he's literally like a Sunday football watching, beer chugging, type of guy. But he's a legit like top notch chef. But just the way he presents it, like it's to like the every person.
Mm-hmm.
Steve feels like he's just cooking with his buddy in
Yeah, it feels like
his
he's
kitchen.
Yeah.
he's throwing F-bombs and telling you, but then he's like talking about like all these really like intricate chef techniques and stuff like that, but doing it in a way that is cool and makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's what I like. To me, that's fun.
Yeah.
Like, that makes food fun.
Yeah.
That makes food fun. Making food fun with Steve
Yeah.
and Andy.
It should be making good food fun.
Making good food fun. I like that.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, how was your week?
My week was, it was good. I don't know. Nothing too crazy.
Regular week.
Regular week. How was your week?
It seemed like it was a busy week. Things went by fast.
You had some fridge issues.
I've still got this equipment at the shop.
Yeah.
And I had my back bar, my newest piece of equipment. All of a sudden when I plugged it in, it wasn't getting cold.
It was heating up instead of getting cold, didn't you say?
Well, I realized that this happened. Remember when I did that cheesecake sale a little bit ago? Mm-hmm. So I made all these cheesecakes and I was going to go put them in the back bar there. So I went and plugged it in and checked on it the next day, and it was hotter. I went to put the cheesecakes in, and it was hotter. I'm like, oh no. So I had to put all the cheesecakes in the sandwich table. But so I, being, a person who likes to avoid dealing with stuff, I thought maybe if I just leave it unplugged for a couple of weeks and check it again, it'll work properly. But I did that because I've got it for sale on Kijiji right now. I did that, and it still got warmer. So I called Ron Sharp. Because he's always been the refrigeration guy in town. Like when I had Sweet Cup, he fixed our old sandwich table. He fixed a lot of coolers. And I think he even buys units that need to be fixed, but people don't want to fix them. And then resells them maybe. I think
refab.
Might do that.
Yeah, restoration.
Sharp Refrigeration is his business. He's got a white truck with this thing.
Does it say the fridge guy on it? Or?
It should.
Yeah.
It should.
Did it?
Old McRonald fixed a fridge. That's what it should say.
Well, he saved your ass.
He saved my ass. Anyways,
Thanks,
he did a great job, and he came right away, and I can trust him. It's small town. I gave him the code for the building. So
yeah, he does a good work.
Yeah, he called me right away. So
if you need your fridge
you need your fridge fixed, give old Ron a call. He's always been good.
What's his number?
His number is 873-8632, actually.
Perfect.
Give him a call.
I will next time my fridge breaks down.
Isn't that a thing? Okay, phone numbers. When we were little, I bet you had 50 phone numbers in your head.
Everybody's phone number.
Now I don't know 3.
I barely know my kids' phone numbers.
Yeah.
Kyle was so offended. 2 years into dating, I didn't know his cell phone number. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. I just pressed Kyle on my phone.
Yeah.
He was so offended. I was like,
well, you have to make an effort to remember.
Well, now I know. But
So I was, have I ever told the story about almost missing a wedding rehearsal that I was the best man for?
Yes.
no.
Did I tell it on here?
But this, Amanda says yes. Maybe not, but this is totally applicable. Tell this story.
So we're in Regina, and I'm the best man for this wedding, Brett Schellsberg's wedding. And the rehearsal was out at the lake, which was about 40 minutes away, Wee2 Beach, by Bethune, kind of. So I had to go back to his place, and Brett says, "Can you go get these dress shirts that were steamed at Moore's and bring them to the thing?" So I said, "Yeah, I'll do that." So we get back there, and the other guys, the groomsmen, are all there, and we're like, "Well, we'll just all go together. We got to take this camper there. We'll just rip through the city and go to Moore's and go up there, and life goes on." Well, we get just outside of Grand Coulee, and one of the guys forgets that the trailer isn't licensed. So he's like, "I can't go through the city." He's like, "I got to take back roads there." So I'm like, "Well, fuck, we got to get these shirts." So I'm like, "Anyway, so I'll go get the shirts." So I go to get the shirts. So I'm in Moore's, pick up these shirts, and shit. I'm like, my phone. Where's my phone? Uh-oh. I left it in the truck, in the other guy's truck. So I'm there, and I don't know how to get to Wee2 Beach. Like I don't know where this thing is. I don't know, and I'm like, I'm screwed. And I didn't even know the name of the beach. Like Last Mountain Lake's 80 miles long, and I know there's a bunch of beaches all along the thing. So I'm like, oh man. So I find this old guy in the store, and I said, "Excuse me, sir, do you know on Last Mountain Lake very well?" And he's like, "Yeah, I know it. There's a beach and it starts with a W." And he's like on Google, and he's lucky. He's like, I don't know. I'm like, shit. Okay. He's like, "Well, do you know your buddy's number? We can just phone him." And I'm like, I have no idea. I had no idea what his number was. So he's like, I'm like, 873. I think it's 873. And And then I was thinking like really long and hard. And then I'm like, oh, I know his code to get into his old building was this number, right? So I'm like, try that. And it was this old lady answers, and she's like, hello. I'm like, is Brett there? You got the wrong number. I'm like, shit. So I hung up. I'm like, well, try 852. No, that wasn't it. I'm like, shit. And then I remembered 886 is a prefix for Tisdale. So we phoned 886. Finally got him. But it was just a freak.
With that old code from his building?
That's how I knew, was to get into his building.
Guess the number.
I didn't know his phone number. And like, he's one of my best friends. Mm-hmm. And it's just one of those things where you don't know. So finally I figured, but I thought it was 20 minutes away. No, it was like an hour away. And I was half an hour from this rehearsal. So I drove about 165 and got there at 5 minutes before.
Speaking of, I used Google Maps to get here tonight.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, that's how I use Google Maps for everything.
But it was pretty useless. Like, you don't have a light that kind of shines on your house number?
Well,
so it would have been helpful to
at least
be like,
he has a house number. I don't even
face.
have one, and nobody can. Oh, I should have said that.
Giant smiley face.
He said he was thinking of painting over it. I said, you can't do that. It's a landmark.
That's how people know. Yeah, I got one of those solar power ones, but it's burnt out. It doesn't work anymore.
Well, I knew it had to be close because I could see this one across the street said 917. So I was like, it has to be here somewhere.
Yeah, across the road.
But then I punched it in. Well, first I was like, I can find this. I seen 95th Ave. I came down here, and then I was like, well, I don't see the house number, so I'm going to use Google Maps. Then I accidentally put in 95th Street. So it takes me like across town, and I was like, well, weird. Andrea told me this was by the industrial center.
Yeah, and then you waited in your car until you seen me walking down the street. Yeah. Must be.
Isn't that wild? Like how technology is helped us so much, but it's made us so stupid.
Weak.
Yeah, so dependent.
Yeah.
So dependent on it. And I think that's what they want, right?
But it's so crazy. Like, you want to know anything, you Google it and you have the answer.
Yeah, you don't have to be smart anymore.
Oh, man. No. Okay, so I Googled something the other day for a Facebook post I was going to make. I Googled lumberjack slang. Did I tell you this story? No. Oh, man. I Googled lumberjack slang, and I was shocked at what came up, because I was thinking like just like some funny words to describe a lumberjack that I could put in this like wholesome social media
post.
For
school?
Yeah.
Okay.
At school, and I Googled this, and if you have time,
probably the wrong.
All of the Google things that came up was Urban Dictionary, lumberjack, lumberjacking, all this stuff. There's some crazy stuff that came up in there. So look it up later when you need a laugh or something.
Oh man. So what did you find? What was the funniest?
I can't even.
You could say it.
I don't think I can. It's so dirty.
Well, just click the explicit content box on the podcast app.
Oh, I can't.
Okay.
What if my grandma's watching?
Yeah, Google is the whole sitting in a bar and arguing over something, like passionately, is you don't do that anymore. Whereas back before Google,
unless it's about an opinion,
right? Yeah.
Well, because
an opinion on something.
You had to decide for yourself. You could hear all these other opinions, but now it's like Google is just Google it. Google is law.
And then and then the fight stops.
Then the conversation is over.
So now what are we talking about?
That's like Kyle's like key line. Google it.
Yeah, me too. Because it's true.
Like if my toe's aching, he's like, Google it. Like Google why.
Oh, Amanda, what's so funny over there? Did you Google lumberjack?
Yeah, I did. Of course I did.
It's probably on your Google browser already.
Lumberjacking is fairly wholesome. It's when lumberjacking is when you eat something, no matter the size, in one single bite.
Oh.
A cupcake, for instance.
That's not the only thing
lumberjacking
that came up.
Wholesome one.
Sheesh.
Oh yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Well,
you said moving on.
What are we going to talk about now? Today, what did I Google? I don't think I Googled anything today.
Do you ever go a day without Googling something?
Never. No, I Google stuff all day long.
What'd you Google today? This is actually a good interview question to ask people.
What's the last
What's
thing
the
you
last
do?
thing you Googled?
You could probably look on my phone. Well, we can't because we're not.
Actually, I did Google something today.
What?
Okay, you know how those stickers have been going around? Maybe don't. Those stickers have been going around people's Instagram stories, like tag 10 businesses or like
yes.
a photo of you. I could not figure out how to share that on my own story. Like it wouldn't provide it as a sticker for me. So I Googled. I was like, how to put this Instagram sticker as my
And you
story.
did it? You figured it out?
No. I watched 2 YouTube videos and I was lost. I was like, I guess.
That's usually stuff I'm Googling is like
That's how
techie,
Yeah.
like social media, like how to do things.
But you
online.
figure it out. I'm like that. I Google it because I have the need and I want to learn. But then everything is so complicated and there's so many different ways, and the ways that you think are easy don't work.
Yeah.
And I end up throwing my hands in the air, and that's where Steve
Yeah, I'm
comes
usually
along.
pretty good at it, but when it comes to Instagram, it can sometimes be about like, what version do you have, or do you have an Apple or an iPhone, or
Yeah.
or not? Yeah,
You're on a lot of social media, hey?
Yeah, quite a bit.
Yeah, but like you have Instagram, you have Facebook.
Yeah,
What else? You got a podcast.
I do have a podcast.
So when do you do your podcast?
My episodes come out on Mondays.
Oh.
Yeah.
And do you have guests?
What's it called?
Confident and Capable. That is my podcast.
Where's it
name.
on? Spotify?
Yeah, well, it's on a bunch of different platforms like Spotify, Deezer, iHeartRadio. Like it's on a bunch of different ones. But I feel like Spotify or like Apple Podcasts would be like the 2 most
The 2
popular.
main ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what is it? Is it the same type of format every time?
No, like sometimes I have guests. I mostly talk about like healthy lifestyle tips, nutrition topics, things to help you live a healthy lifestyle.
When did you start that?
In August.
Yeah.
See, and I started it because a lot of my demographic, like I said, is busy moms. So I'm like,
Right.
what better way than like when you're driving to work or driving the kids to hockey, you can just pop my podcast on and listen away.
Mm-hmm.
It's the convenience of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I started an email list, and I still do my email list once in a while, and I think like it's a good thing to have. But it's one of those things that's like, are people more likely to like read a long email or like quickly listen to a 10-minute blurb while driving to?
Emails are annoying.
You know what I
so
mean?
Annoying. Yeah.
There's
Because you end up, they clog your inbox and then you just want to delete them all. You
Yeah.
don't have time to read. And you're right. So many people are listening to podcasts and just listening to things in general.
Well, there's so much windshield time in rural Saskatchewan. Right?
Yes.
You drive in literally 25 minutes anywhere.
Yeah. And is that kind of like why you guys started this podcast too? Or was it just to have like another platform to have?
Why did we start this
We-
podcast?
Well, I think we started it during
She's trying to ask us
Yeah.
our why. We got to get to the 7 levels
Deep
of
here.
right.
of
so
why.
I think we started it at the start of the pandemic
Yes.
because we were bored out of our minds.
Well, I was already doing my lives
right.
and I wanted to get into YouTube
Right.
and doing like more like a show. I've always wanted to have a talk show.
Right. Yeah.
And then Steve likes to listen to a lot of podcasts. And he asked how I felt about podcasts, and he was willing to learn all this tech stuff. That's where I always hit the brick wall because I was just like, I want to do it, but I don't know how and whatever.
Well, now it's just becoming a part of our lives. At
It's-
Friday night,
yeah.
we're podcasting, so it's something to look forward to during the
It's
week.
totally become that. It's
I
just,
love it.
It's just been fun.
Totally.
So now I think why we started is different than why we keep doing
Continue to do it.
it. Yeah.
Honestly.
And sitting down and talking with people like yourself and
Yeah.
just people. Like you're having conversations with people you might not necessarily talk to, right? Like, because I find you know a lot of people and you might talk to them at the grocery store or the
Post office.
post office or
Yeah.
in the bar or something, but it's such quick,
Yeah.
like,
How's
hey,
your day?
yeah, pleasantries,
Yeah.
right? Whereas you don't really sit down and have in-depth conversations with people very much.
People
No.
don't drink
Especially
tea and play
nowadays.
Scrabble anymore.
Yeah.
There's no social events.
Yeah.
Really. Like,
And podcasts are people's
Social,
social event. Like lots of people have said to us about listening to our show that it feels like you're just sitting right along with us and just having a conversation at the kitchen table or whatever.
For sure.
Like you're one of the conversation. I think that's what people crave, but there's not very many opportunities to do it. You can't even, it's hard to even go sit in a restaurant and visit with people now. So yeah, if you're listening to us and joining us tonight, how's it going?
We don't discriminate against vaxxed or anti-vaxxed.
Yeah, we don't care.
Anybody can listen. But that's it too, right? Instead of getting together with a group of people, you just
text them.
Yeah. So it's.
I don't know. I think that's
it.
why I was having a good Friday. Like usually Fridays, I'm like wiped. Like I go pretty hard during the week, and then Fridays come and I'm just like looking forward to going home and like sitting on my couch. But I was like pretty amped up this Friday because I was like, I actually have plans.
I got
Yeah, there's
plans.
something to do.
I have plans tonight.
That's why we like it, because it's like, every Friday night we're having drinks and we're chit-chatting.
Yeah.
And that's what people have said about the show is that they know what they're doing Friday nights. They're going to be
Tuning in.
That's even Carmen.
Yes.
Except unless
She might be
Jennifer
watching
Aniston's on.
Yeah. Jennifer Aniston.
Kelly Andrus said that she puts us on
When she goes to
when
bed.
she goes to bed to try and fall asleep.
She is going to be so happy that we mentioned her again.
Yeah, just white noise.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kelly.
Yeah. She was hyped. She was like, I'm going to be famous. I'm like, yes, Mrs. Andrus, you are going to be famous.
Well, Kyle asked you if you were going to be famous.
Yeah. Well, he also asked me tonight. Well, so this is a question for you from Kyle.
Okay.
Kyle's unloading panels right now, or he would be watching live.
Okay.
He was like, is her goal to be on Oprah?
No, my goal is to be
Oprah.
Oprah. I've always felt like I could be somewhat of a mix between Oprah and Ellen,
Oh, yeah.
with maybe a little bit of dash of Dave Chappelle.
I don't even know who Dave Chappelle is.
He's like a really dirty comedian.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know. I like to talk to people. I've always just thought a talk show would be fun.
Yeah.
I might not be good at it, maybe someday.
Yeah.
Talk shows are a thing of the past.
Well,
They are.
this is the podcast is the new talk show.
Podcastings are the
Yes.
new talk show.
Yeah. Have you ever watched those super old Oprahs that come on, like from the 80s? When she's got the crazy hair and huge makeup and the shoulder pads and the...
Yeah.
It's funny when you look back on fashion. Like what what do you think we're going to think when we look back 20 years from now at what we're wearing now?
I don't know. I've thought about that too. But a lot of the older styles are coming back.
Yeah.
They always do.
Like the baggy pants and the...
Everything circulates.
It just depends how ridiculous
How
fashion
about like
gets.
the high-waisted
you
skinny
personally
jeans
do.
or the mom jeans?
Yeah.
Or the mom jeans with the pleats and the acid wash that nobody ever thought would ever come back.
They're back.
Yeah.
curtain bangs.
Are bangs back?
Yes.
Bangs are back.
Yeah.
Well, the middle part came baak.
The middle part did
The
come
old
back.
Wednesday Addams.
The Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
But that's what everybody's doing now. If you side part it, you're
Yeah, I'm
you're a
not
boomer.
cool.
Yeah, you're a boomer.
No, I was doing the middle part. I was, but then I was like, I need to switch it up again. Like I can do both.
Yeah.
But for a while I was just doing it so I didn't get made fun of by high school kids. But then I noticed they don't really care.
I was going to say, do they care?
No,
I don't think they even notice.
no.
Yeah. Although they might notice Dave and Dallas's fashion choices. They're always
Yes.
matching.
Twinning.
I saw that on.
Did you ever well, you
Facebook
probably
today.
wouldn't realize this, but it's actually shocking how many days they come dressed.
They're
almost
both
exactly
golfers.
the same.
I find golfers
Have
have
the same style.
have a unique style, especially if you hang out together.
Yeah, but I
You
mean to
start
wear
dressing
this
like each other.
to wear the same colors of the same everything, like same color top, same color bottom, same shoes. It's a little bit weird.
That's like farmers, I feel. Farmers like ranchers.
What? They all dress the same?
Yeah. Wranglers and a Western shirt. plaid shirt.
Is
Yeah,
that what
some
Kyle
plaid.
is?
Oh yeah.
So were you always into the cowboy type, or what's your story there?
Well, my dad's a cowboy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I grew up on like a ranch.
So are you kind of a cowgirl?
I don't know. Yeah. Cowgirl. No, like I did do the whole barrel racing thing when I was really young,
Yeah.
but I kind of got out of it because I found it like real clicky and just like a lot. Like you either have to be like a full on barrel racer or pick something else.
You can't just
I
dip
was
your
like,
toe in the water.
No, you
You
can't
go
dip.
whole hog.
And it's expensive, obviously. It's a horse and you have to keep training it and keep up with it and enter into competitions.
And they don't fuck around with all the duds
no.
either.
No.
Like these horses and their matching riders have
Yes.
some seriously intense gear.
So I dipped my toes. I dabbled in the barrel
You
race
dabbled.
thing. But then I decided that I wanted other things for my life.
Yeah,
But
Did you ever get bucked off?
Yes. I've been bucked off probably like a handful of times.
Was it hard to get back on after you were bucked off?
Well, my dad's rule was that I had to get back on. Because if you didn't, then you got scared. Then you'd never get back on.
That's true. That's true because I had gotten bucked off a couple times in my life. We had horses growing up at the farm or whatever. And then I married a truck wagon driver. So
Yeah.
I had to ride a horse or my life was going to be miserable. So anyways, I rode a couple times and got bucked off a couple times, got back on. But the one time I got thrown right over the front shoulder of the horse and like did a tuck and roll and landed on my shoulder. I never got on another horse after that.
Like to this day?
Never. That was 10 years ago. 15.
Well, Kyle's horses are all very, very tame. So maybe you could come out for a ride.
I don't think I'd be scared to get back on one. I've just never had the urge to go horse riding again or to do anything of the sort.
Yeah.
You gotta. I find horse riding. You have to be able to trust with your
Yes.
life.
Oh,
right. You gotta trust
100%.
that horse so much.
Yeah, and when a horse is crazy, there's no trusting it.
Even a tame horse, you're like, okay, kibbles and bits. You better. I don't know. That's usually that's like a horse name.
That is funny. Get it, Bits? The horse Bits?
I heard. Yeah, there's a horse I rode once named Kibbles and Bits.
Actually?
Yeah, it was like on one of those trail rides.
Kibbles and Bits.
So
Long-winded horse.
I DJ'd Britt's wedding.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
DJ Steve.
and I showed up. It was like after right at the speeches, basically, because
Right.
I showed up and set
Yeah.
up right before the dance, and I think they were doing the last speech, and then they started the slideshow. So that's so that's when I snuck into the hall, and I was sitting at the back, and I just kind of panned the crowd, and I bet you I seen like 20 to 25 cowboy hats.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and I was like, oh, baby, this is going to be a good wedding. And it was. Man, did they
the
dance.
Floor was
Oh,
hopping.
it was so fun. Your wedding was one of my top, I bet you it was in the top 3 out of weddings I've ever
Nice.
DJ'd for fun. Like
Yeah.
it didn't matter what song I played. Everybody was, and there was some good dance. Like your dad.
Oh, my
Your dad was riffing it up, and you
Yeah.
dance with anybody,
Yeah.
and it didn't matter. I find watching a guy that can really dance makes everybody, like all the girls, good dancers too, right?
Well, if they're good at leading.
Right, and
Yeah.
like every time he was on the dance floor, he had like a different person up there every time, and he just
Yeah.
looked unreal at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. And then there was another gal, and she's wearing cowboy boots, and she was always like stomping. Yeah, like
Probably my aunt.
yeah, she was fun. Yeah. But I knew when I walked in and seen all the cowboy hats that it was going to be a fun wedding dance. And it was.
So how are weddings that like the dance floor is like dead? I feel like that would be so boring as a DJ.
It's tough. It's so tough. And you know pretty quick.
Yeah.
You know pretty quick.
Just
'Cause-
reading the crowd.
Yeah. Or when you play, there's a certain handful of songs where if
It's
they don't,
usually
it gets people up dancing,
Yeah.
right? Like they're like the old standbys. And if you play a couple of them and nobody gets up, you're like, oh boy.
It's going to be a long night.
But I find like I've done I think 4 this summer since like COVID, like
Yeah.
And everyone has been awesome because I think people took it for granted going to weddings over the last couple of years or not being able to.
For sure.
That I think they made a conscious effort to have
a good
fun
time.
and dance and right because maybe next summer we can't go to weddings again.
Right.
Well, there's going to be a New Year's dance in town.
Really?
Yeah. Are you going to come?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Where's it at?
It's at the Recplex.
Really?
The Ramblers are putting it on. Yeah.
Live
band.
Nice.
We're going to rally the troops and get everybody at this thing because we need Tisdale needs a good old fashioned.
Like I
Boot
always
stomp.
loved the Rambler Rodeo, like
Yeah.
the cabaret, like just some sort of social event that you could like go and see.
That
people
so
you
many
haven't seen.
people would come to. It's
Right.
not just like a wedding where you're going to like see the same people
Right.
or whatever.
Yeah.
Although weddings are good because people come from out of town. Whatever. Any gathering is a good gathering.
Yeah.
New Year's
New
Eve.
Year's Eve. Ooh, I've like never done anything on New Year's Eve.
Really?
For, like the past 6 years. Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I'm a granny.
Yeah, New Year's isn't as big. I find New Year's isn't as big as it was when our parents.
I honestly
partying.
have not done anything for New Year's for 6 years.
Actually, that's true. Most people don't really anymore. There's nothing ever going on, but
no.
it used to be. Used to be a big deal.
It used to be massive.
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big like
But I think-
galas and
Don't you think, like you said, people are maybe ready for
Yeah.
to do something, to celebrate, to do something like that again?
Yeah. Like I said, every wedding I've been to this summer, it's been a party. Like,
So do you think they're going to sell tickets for this thing or is it just free for all? I feel like
No, it won't be a free for all.
think
They'll
they'll sell
have to
tickets.
sell tickets, and you're going to have to be vaxxed
Yeah.
to get in. Double vaxxed.
because I feel like everyone's going to want to go.
yeah.
Hopefully.
Hope
I
so.
mean.
Hopefully. Is Jay doing bar night? Does he do that?
I think he's doing bar night this year.
Didn't last year.
No.
I feel like bar night's more of a younger
Oh,
crowd.
yeah.
Like I'm too old for the bar night.
Like just out of university.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But, and
Like,
it
I
never
feel
was.
too old
It
for
never,
bar
like
night.
when I was young, so when I was 18, 19, that was back when Little Willie's and Shooters was still here. It, like all the old people went. Not old, I shouldn't say old, but like 35 to 50-year-old people went to bar night.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden it became
20 to 25.
or even younger.
Yeah.
Like 19.
And
to
when it gets
22.
that young, it scares the older people away
Yeah, then
because
they
it's
don't want to be there.
annoying.
Then they're like
or
creepers.
Or you're partying with your kids, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I remember being that age, and it's like you think you're a hell of a good time. You can't imagine
Right.
why older people would think you're annoying. And then you get 35 to 40 years old, and then you're out with 20-year-olds, and it's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
It's just a different. They know how to have fun in a different way. Like I feel like I can't get myself to have fun that way anymore. Like I know what I'm going to feel like in the morning, and it's going to hurt.
Well, we had fun at on Halloween.
Well, yeah.
Like that was I haven't been out partying at a bar with a band and
I was actually
planning that you're going out for a night in a long
time.
2 years.
I was more hurting Saturday morning after our Friday night live than I was the next night. We really did her up good that night.
yeah.
That was a good time.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to a dance. That I love DJing and I love going to weddings but I also
So
like,
are you a dancer?
I like dancing.
Yeah.
Steve's a great dancer.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm great, but
Yeah.
I can do it.
Put
You're
your
a very
skills to
good
the test
dancer.
on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. Take a number, ladies. Steve's dance card fills up fast.
No, it doesn't. But I love doing it. Like if
must,
somebody's
though.
eager.
It must though, because we've talked about this before. We've talked about the benefits of being a good dancer.
Yes.
And then like I would think that everybody would want to dance with you when you're a good dancer, right?
There's lots of people that are, if everybody's up dancing, it's way easier to get people on the dance floor. But if there's like two couples up there, you got to be a pretty good salesman to get a girl up there. Right?
Unless they like love dancing.
Yeah, unless they love dancing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a situation where a girl's trying to get you to dance and you don't really want to?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes.
Tell me about one of them.
Well, nothing in particular, but
You're lying then.
like on, and again, back to rodeo.
Yeah.
I find rodeo is everybody will dance.
Yeah.
Or wants to dance.
I feel like the Western crowd, like the cowboys, I don't know, something about it. They just like love to dance.
But that's because it's more comfortable doing that type of dance, a two-step. When you're like, it's not just you out there moving your body parts around. I feel like people are a lot more comfortable doing those type of dances where you at least have another person to look silly with you.
Right. I feel like they don't really play those types of songs though at like cabarets. They're not gonna like put on Black Eyed Peas.
No, that's what I mean.
Yeah,
that's why more people dance.
Yeah, it's true,
in my opinion.
But I feel like you're gonna get those people to dance at weddings because it's all people that know each other,
right?
So they feel comfortable.
So they do the group circle dance and do the arms at the
Someone
side.
does the worm.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bust it. Dun, dun, dun.
That must
This
be
is
a
the
banger.
tale for
That
all the fellas.
when you play that, does it always get people out?
It's funny. That song is so polarizing.
Really?
It's either the biggest song of the night or crickets.
Really?
And I think it also depends on what time you play it. Mm-hmm. Right.
Don't play it right after the chicken dance.
Or sometimes that is the time because everybody's up, right? And everybody's in the circle.
But not everybody's up for the chicken dance. There's old people and kids up for the chicken dance.
Usually like I Knew the Bride or something like that, or after that, and you start getting back into
do you remember that song at my wedding?
Yeah.
Like I almost had
crazy.
whiplash.
It was crazy.
Like my grandma was like, good thing you work out because like you would have been on the floor. Like because
those cowboys like to swing you around
They
hard.
were spinning you.
Yeah. And just like whipping me around. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, yeah, it was a lot.
And that song too is, I always got to ask at the start of the night, like, are you
good with it?
Are you good? Because some hate it.
Yeah.
And if they don't specifically say don't play it.
Which song?
It's usually
I Knew the Bride?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, and Kyle was more like, I don't want him to play the I'm too sexy.
Yeah.
Because I was like, my auntie's going to try and take your shirt off, right? He was like, no, I'm not having that happen at my wedding.
What's her name?
Tanis.
Did we play that?
Yeah.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure she...
Tried to take her.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I find sometimes at like a wedding like that where there's lots of... or like the guys like the two-step or whatever.
Yeah.
If you play like Cotton Eye Joe right after, and then the girls all dance with the guy.
Right.
Because it's fast too, right?
Yeah.
So you can kind of polka or two-step with it.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's fun.
That's right.
Okay.
Well, Steve.
Well.
I think it's a good time to say goodnight.
Sayonara.
Yep. And have you got to your why yet? What are your goals? What are your fitness goals? Have you been chewing on this for a while?
Well, I guess we got to get to, why I want to lose 10 or 15
Yeah,
pounds.
why?
Let me think about this a little bit. I want to, because I'm getting older, I'm 36. Mm-hmm. I just want to make sure that I don't want to live a sedentary lifestyle, right?
You want to show up as your best self.
Right. Like it's at this time of point in my life, like I don't give a shit about looking good or like impressing.
Having a six-pack.
Right. Like there's no girl in my life that I'm trying to look good for or whatever. But I just want to make sure that I can stay active well into my 50s and 60s and I'm not tired all the time. And I feel if I'm like 175, 180 pounds, that's where I feel my best and I'm my most active and I don't get hurt playing sports and stuff like that. So that's why I want to do it.
Yeah. It's good.
Those, as they would say on The Bachelor, are all the right reasons.
How about yourself?
What are my goals?
Other than to fit into
my dress. Why?
Why
I would like it
want
to fit better.
Into your dress.
Because I feel really good about myself when I feel like I look hot. Mm-hmm. And my opinion of what I look like when I look hot changes. Mm-hmm. But like you said, when you have a certain range of that's when you feel the best, like that's what I feel like I am when I'm 10 pounds down from what I am now. That's when I feel the best. That's when I feel the most energy, the happiest, that's kind of the range.
So you want to feel more confident?
Or just sexier? I guess. Just hotter. I really like that feeling.
Yeah.
It's like a powerful feeling. I like that feeling. I would say I'm fairly confident now, but like I notice when I go to the gym now, I'm not in as good a shape as I was, say, a year ago when I was running every day and doing whatever. And I felt better then.
Right.
And I know winter's coming. And like I said, I know myself and the slippery slide slope I can be on.
Right.
So I guess I just want to set that goal of 10 pounds so that I have to regiment myself to get into a routine again that will keep me at that level.
Yeah.
That's my why, I guess.
It's good.
But I like to feel like I look hot. It motivates me.
It's a good goal.
Yeah.
Steve,
you look like you're just shaking your head.
No,
right now.
we've talked about this all the time where it's I think it's good to want to look good.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing, there
Like,
should be no shame
to
in
have
wanting
pride
to
in
look
yourself.
your best.
No.
And it's not like I don't have pride in myself now. Like I get dressed for work in the morning. I feel like, yeah, I look good, you know, but it's good to always have a goal, I think. Otherwise
Definitely.
you can let it get away on you. Let yourself go if you don't have a standard to uphold. And I hold myself at a certain, that's
Which
where
is
I want to
good.
be. And when I slide away from it, then I want to get back there.
Yep.
That's it.
Perfect.
Yeah. Anyway,
Um,
thanks for watching.
I just want to say, okay, so your podcast is
Confident and capable.
okay, confident and capable, and they
Betcha.
can. If anybody wants to reach out to you on the socials, how do they get a?
At Renewufitness _ is what I am on Instagram, and on Facebook I'm Renewufitness and Lifestyle Coach.
Perfect.
Bang.
You betcha.
Good chat. It was fun
Yeah,
having
It
you.
was great.
Thanks for
being
coming.
on the show.
Okay.
Good night, Kelly.
Good night.
Oh, that's the wrong one.
Hey, it's Andrea Luce! Official!